How many FIFA World Cup tournaments have you watched in your life? Be honest. And for the purpose of this video, let's do a little throwback. We're going to be cutting it down to the 6 tournaments you're seeing on your screen. The 2002 World Cup in Korea, Japan, 2006 in Germany, 2010 in South Africa, 2014 in Brazil, 2018 in Russia, and then 2022 in Qatar. How many of this World Cup did you watch? Be honest. It's not by they told me story. And for the ones you watched, can you remember any key moments, like something that makes you remember the tournaments that you watch? Let's say you watched 2018 World Cup. What is that key moment that you say, this is the reason why I'm remembering the 2018 World Cup in Russia? Now, I'm going to be taking you through these 6 tournaments, and actually, I watched all of them. Don't ask me about my age. Don't ask me. I watched it from 2002 to 2022. So I'm going to be telling you my own key moments, the highlights I had in every of these tournaments from 2002 to 2022. Now, let's start with 2002. First of all, let's establish the fact that the World Cup happened in Korea, Japan in 2002. And of course, it was the first time that the FIFA World Cup was happening outside America and Europe. And of course, it was the first time that the FIFA World Cup was held in 2 countries at the same time. Having established that, let me talk about what actually made the tournament for me. It was the final, guys. There is no other thing that happened in that tournament that made the highlight for me, if not the finals between Germany and Brazil. In fact, Brazil were fantastic in that tournament, and they didn't drop a single game till they got to the finals. Ronaldo, of course, scored a double in the final to help Brazil defeat Germany 2-0 in that final. Oliver Chan was fantastic for Germany in the goalpost, but unfortunately, he made just a little mistake in the final, spilling the ball of Rivaldo that went to Ronaldo, which he scored. So the finals was a highlight for me in the 2002 World Cup, Korea, Japan. Brazil winning their 5th trophy in terms of the FIFA World Cup title, and then Ronaldo winning the Golden Boot with 8 goals. And funny thing is that Rivaldo and Ronaldo were hot in that campaign, bro. In fact, every match Ronaldo would score, Rivaldo would score, Ronaldo would score, Rivaldo would score. It was only in the semi-finals and the finals that Rivaldo didn't score. He ended with 5 goals. Ronaldo ended with 8 goals. So the final of the Korea-Japan was a highlight for me. 2-0 it ended between Brazil and Germany, and Brazil were the winners. And of course, what other better way for them to actually get their image back after they were battered and destroyed in the finals of the 1998 FIFA World Cup by France, which ended 3-0 in favor of France. Now let's move to 2006 in Germany. The highlights, in fact, I believe everybody that watched football, you will remember the headbutting of Materazzi by Zinedine Zidane. Nobody will forget that. It happened in 2006 World Cup, and that is a highlight for me. Forget the fact that Italy went on to win the final against France 5-3 on penalties after the game ended 1-1. But that headbutting by Zinedine Zidane, which almost like that was the last professional match that he played for France. Nobody can forget that, and that was a highlight for me in that final. Now let me just give you a little story behind that. The final was between Italy and France. Zinedine Zidane opened the scoring for France. Of course, he scored in the first half, and Materazzi also equalized in the first half. The game ended 1-1 throughout the 90 minutes. They entered into the extra time, and just closer to the end of the extra time, there was an exchange of words between Materazzi and Zinedine Zidane. Zinedine Zidane, out of anger, had booted Materazzi. He was given a red card. He was sent off, and the game went on to penalty shootout, where Trezeguet was the only one that missed for France. Grosso with the winner for Italy in that one. But that headbutting was a highlight and something I cannot forget in 2006 World Cup in Germany. Now let's go to 2010, the first time that the FIFA World Cup was held in Africa. Vuvuzela everywhere. I know you cannot forget the popular song Waka Waka, Zamina Mina, Waka Waka. Yes, of course, Shakira. That World Cup, of course, gives me a whole lot of nostalgia because first time it is happening in Africa. South Africa were the host of that World Cup. But the highlight for me definitely is the handball of Luis Suarez in the quarterfinals of the World Cup. I know Ghanaians will not forget that in a hurry. In fact, they were talking about it in 2022 when Luis Suarez became a prime goalkeeper, stopping Ghana from making it to the semi-finals of the World Cup to become the first African team to make it to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. And no, if you watch the 2010 World Cup, you will not forget that nonsense that Luis Suarez did in the game between Ghana and Uruguay. The game was going on well. Muntari, Sule Muntari gave Ghana the lead in the first half, and then in the 55th minute of that game, Diego Forlan scored that acrobatic free kick. Almost that free kick was something else. Scored it into the back of the net, and it was 1-1. But when the game was getting closer to the end of it, there was a ball which was getting into the back of a small thing. That ball should have entered into the back of the net, but Luis Suarez decided to use his hand to tip the ball off. Ha! And he resorted to a penalty anyway. Luis Suarez was sent off from that game, was given a red card, and then the resultant penalty was missed by Asamoah Gyan, which would have given Ghana a 2-1 win in that game. Unfortunately, the game ended 1-1 and proceeded to penalty shootout where Ghana lost to Uruguay. And in fact, Luis Suarez felt like a hero. The way they were celebrating him. I keep saying it that FIFA should make another rule because Suarez should have been given a more, you know, better punishment than a red card because that was evil. That was cruel. But anyway, that was a highlight for me. That is what I cannot forget from 2010 FIFA World Cup, the handball of Luis Suarez against Ghana. Now let's go to 2014 in Brazil. There were so many wonderful moments in the Brazil FIFA World Cup in 2014. But funny enough, the one I cannot forget is the 7-1 drubbing of the host nation in the semi-finals of the World Cup. See, there's something about Germany as a team and as a country. Even their clubs, they don't laugh. When they want to beat you, they'll beat you very well. See the way they destroyed Brazil in that particular semi-final. Although they were without a talisman, Neymar, who got injured in the quarterfinal against Colombia. Yes, unfortunately it happened. But bro, 5 goals in 29 minutes in the first half of that game. That was bad. That was so bad. I cannot forget that. In fact, the heaviest defeat that Brazil have suffered in the FIFA World Cup after the 3-0 loss to France in 1998 finals. That was a heavy 7-1, bro, as a host country. And Brazil, one of the most, if the most illustrious team in the FIFA World Cup. Come on, 7-1. Nobody can forget that in a hurry. At least I know most of you watched the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Now let's go to 2018. For me, 2018 is one of my lowest FIFA World Cup. Like, there was no special, for me, I didn't really see any special highlight in 2018 World Cup. Yes, we had some comebacks where Belgium had a fantastic comeback against Japan and everything. But I think somehow France won the tournament. Actually, they defeated Croatia in the final by 4 goals to 2, and that was a very young, dynamic French squad that had like of Kylian Mbappe, Paul Pogba, Antoine Griezmann, N'Golo Kante, Hugo Lloris, all of that, and um, Mbappe also scoring in the final, becoming the second youngest player after Pelé to score in the finals of the FIFA World Cup, winning the youngest player in that tournament. Announced himself. In fact, he was unplayable against Argentina in the round of 16. But I think the highlight of that tournament for me, because I don't really have special highlights in that tournament, but I give it to Croatia. Croatia were fantastic in that tournament, and nobody expected them to get all the way to the finals of the tournament. So Croatia, the performance in that tournament as a whole is my highlight. They played extra time in 3 games of the knockout stages. You know, from the quarterfinal where they defeated the round of 16 where they defeated Denmark, moved them to the quarterfinal, to the semi-final. All the 3 games ended at extra time, and they won 2 on penalties. Of course, that year, Luka Modric was fantastic. He won the Ballon d'Or because of his performance at the FIFA World Cup and also for his club, Real Madrid. Then 2022, there's no other. See, for 2022, unless you are a hater of good football, there's no other special highlight. Forget the fact that, okay, the World Cup was held in Qatar, off season, instead of May, June, July, it was held in November, December. Forget the fact that Saudi Arabia destroyed the unbeaten run of Argentina, 36, game unbeaten run. Forget the fact that Ronaldo became the first player to score in 5 different World Cup. Forget the fact that Morocco got to the semi-final, the first African country to make it to the semi-finals of the FIFA World Cup. Bro, the highlight of the 2022 FIFA World Cup is no other than Lionel Messi winning the FIFA World Cup for the first time in his career. He completed football. In fact, he said, "This is what I've been looking for." And that is the highlight of the tournament. Guys, the final was epic. 3-3, he ended. Messi with 2 goals in that final. Mbappe with a hat-trick. The second player in the history of World Cup to score a hat-trick in the final since the lack of like Horst, the 1966. Yes, that was the first man to score a hat-trick in the finals of the FIFA World Cup. But that's not even the point. The final was a highlight. 3-3 ended. In fact, Colomwani came close to scoring the winner. Bro, if you see the way, oh God. God bless Emilio Martinez. He was phenomenal in that final. Anyway, proceeded to penalty shootout. And of course, Montiel was the one that scored the winning goal for Argentina as they won the FIFA World Cup. That was a highlight of the tournament, the finals, and Messi winning it. So I don't know how many of these highlights and moments that I just mentioned that you can remember from this tournament, but I want to know yours. If you watched any of this FIFA World Cup tournament, let me know your highlights. What are those key moments that you cannot forget from this tournament that you watched? Let me know right there in the comment section. And do not forget to subscribe and also drop your comment, because I'll be posting some more videos like this as we do ourselves some bit of nostalgia when it comes to football.